I don't know if that was, like, good enough, but...
Cool.
Yeah.
I have a Jason Alexander poster across the street, and it is The Art of Seduction.
Oh, James has one of those, my friend, yeah.
It's beautiful.
My friend James got that same poster for his birthday, and it's hanging in his parents' bedroom now. Like above their bed.
If I ever have a fireplace, which I won't, I want to put it above my fireplace, but I'll put it above my couch. Sorry, Tangi.
I always wanted like a painting recreation of like the Kramer, you know? Him like in his suit, like looking all posh or whatever. I always wanted a reproduction of that.
That's
fair.
You have the talents.
Mm-mm.
You really do.
I'll do it, but it won't look good.
I don't want it.
I'll make it, but it's gonna be Bob's Burgers art style.
I mean...
That's somehow better.
That's pretty good, actually. I'd like it if it's more like off-brand in a way, you know? I think that's better. So it begins.
Return to monkey.
Return to monkey. Everybody do that noise. Is there a proper term for that? Is that like a
Popping.
scientific term?
No, it's just popping.
Popping?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
I just associated with Bobcat.
That's all. This one is just when it's just popping.
Welcome to Popcast. We're hilarious.
We're only popping.
Welcome to the
podcast. We're funny. Yeah, we should say hello.
Hi.
Oh, yes! Let's say our names.
Hi, friends.
Yes.
Let's start over here.
I'm Amber.
I'm Tangi.
I'm Mia.
It's Dustin.
I'm Nolan.
And we're the Scooby Gang. No, I'm just kidding.
Zoinks.
How are you?
Zoinks. We decided we'd talk about the weather!
Yeah, today we're talking about the weather and nothing else. So how about that rain? It's
forecast.
It's pouring.
Yeah, the sun's out.
It's
sunny, it's shining.
Weather.
There's water falling from the sky.
There's some ice and some snow.
The ground is
the
boiling.
mountain
A little bit of wind.
3 volcanoes have gone off today.
There was an avalanche.
Yeah.
Avalanche?
Yeah.
That sounds even more terrifying. Can you just imagine now this time about like just a bunch of and no such
God.
as they're just rolling down a mountain and like
Naturally
shattering.
Avalanche.
I don't want to talk about the weather anymore. This is stupid.
You know what? Let's talk about how you're stupid.
No, I don't want to talk about that either.
Because you're stupid.
I've talked about that enough, and I don't like to acknowledge it.
Okay.
Damn it.
I want to talk about childhood trauma.
I win. Let's
God,
move on.
You don't want to get started on that.
Oh.
No.
No.
We were talking about creepypastas.
You want to talk about childhood?
creepypasta.
What were you going to say?
Today's the 11th anniversary of my grandfather's death.
Oh.
Congrats. I'm sorry.
Congrats. Are you okay
Good
back
job,
there?
man. I'm sorry. What happened to you?
Smacked my arm like 3 times.
Ow, doing what?
She was doing circles.
I went to like do this where, I generally will get both my hands like in my hoodie jacket because I don't like having my hands out. Went like that, smacked the wall and then swacked.
You can do it. You can get
and then smacked my funny bone on my chair and then smacked my hand again.
Ow. This podcast is off to
very rapid succession.
Very
Dustin's trying to
violent
leave me.
start.
I
Why are
need to
you
get my
leaving?
water.
Dustin's escaping.
Stay hydrated,
Ooh,
like,
Dustin needs
perfectly
water.
at my face
Pathetic.
level.
Ooh.
But I keep
Yeah, watch yourself, Tangi.
Ew.
That makes me want to die.
Breathe.
Anyways. Hey, Dustin's back.
Hey, Nolan, it's okay to keep those thoughts in the drafts of your mind.
This podcast is such...
No,
And
it's
there's
okay.
the first cuss word.
I'm not censoring it.
No.
I'm tired of censoring.
We can edit it to start whenever we want. So,
could.
hi guys, welcome to the podcast.
Hello, everybody! Yep, sorry.
Welcome back to like the 7th installment of Clocked Out Creatures. What episode?
This is episode 7. You're
Oh,
right.
nice. I know how to
Episode 7 of
count.
Clocked Out Creatures.
So this episode, we will also be discussing Star Wars.
No, we are
Wars?
not talking
And
about
Star Wars was 5 pieces
Creepypastas.
No,
we'll be talking about
we're
The
talking about
Simpsons,
creepypastas.
Season 32, and many other things.
Yeah.
Only season 32.
Some of my favorite things are The Simpsons, newest season, stale bread.
Is The Simpsons still going?
Yes.
Yeah.
that
Yes,
about?
it is.
Surprisingly.
Yes, it is.
See, I much rather prefer wet bread to
Wet
stale bread.
That's
No.
interesting. I prefer to do the hot dog eating technique where you dip it in the water and then it
Yeah.
just slides right down your throat.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
the most disgusting thing I've ever
No,
heard
it's
in my
not.
You
life.
just said that, and for some reason I imagined somebody making bread, but instead of water, they use hot dog water.
That
Do you
sounds
think
good.
it would
Ew.
taste like,
Hot dog?
I don't know. What do you
Probably.
think? It would probably
Probably.
just taste like smoked bread.
Maybe.
find
Oh,
out.
that might be kind of good. Let's try it. We're going to try one of
Well,
these
let's
days.
test it out.
We're going to try the hot dog water bread. We'll get back to you guys.
We'll eat it with hot dogs, so it's fine.
Would
And
you
then
guys
dip it in hot dog water.
have you guys ever seen like the hot dog eating contests?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I've seen
They
enjoy
make
watching
me
videos every once in a
want to
while.
die.
kale.
There's a really funny video. They got like the world champion at the time, like hot dog eater, right? And they put him up against a bear in a hot dog eating contest. They're like, can man outperform bear or whatever? And like, it's not a long video, but they like try to draw it out because it's kind of just like this dude like starts chowing down on the hot dogs, and you like look at the bear and it kind of like looks around. It's like not really sure where it is, and the dude's like panicking, like looking over at the bear, and the bear's just kind of like tired, and then eventually like the dude's eating like 20 or 30 hot dogs, and the bear finally like sniffs the hot dogs and then just like finishes them in like a minute, and it's like over. It's a really funny video because you just watch this guy's like internal struggle as he's like dying, like eating hot dogs.
Just inhaling them.
He's inhaling them, yeah. That's how they do it. They dip it in water. They got cups of water, and then they go.
Like, the hardest part is having to chew the meat so you don't choke. But
Yeah.
even then, if you leave it whole, it'll just...
I imagine, I always think of that one video of the dude with the hot dog in his mouth, and he goes, and he like projectiles it.
Yeah.
Somebody took that and looped it so that he spits it up to himself, and he catches it and then spits it back down, and it like loops.
Oh my god!
It's really
I need
good.
to see this.
I'll find it if I can. It just slingshots
did
back
you-
and
I
forth.
think somebody hit record.
Anyways, I
Nolan?
remember how far back we were. Yeah, they looped it forever. It's really funny. And if that part got cut out, no one would know what we're talking about.
I just
Can't hit the
choked on my
Nolan.
candy.
Should we probably also get the little sound recorder and place it somewhere so that way we have a backup?
I try. Maybe we can. I'll go grab it real
That's
quick.
for losers.
In the meantime, everybody introduce themselves.
That's for
again.
people who think
In the
ahead.
meantime, let's talk about this schedule that I took days and nights to make. Grab it. You can lean over. I don't even think
I don't
it'll
know.
hurt you.
I don't even know what you mean by this. I don't remember seeing you make that.
I did. I made it.
Welcome to the
Sure.
podcast.
Nolan, hand me the schedule behind you.
The third
It's
time that
important.
we've started this podcast.
We need like the music. I'm Nolan.
God.
You
It's
know?
gonna get like that 80s workout music.
Yeah.
We can use that one song
Be like
from
the
Greece.
Windmill kids.
Yeah. Welcome to the podcast. I'm Nolan.
I'm Dustin.
Stop, please.
Say
no.
your name.
No.
You broke the chain.
You ruined it.
Mia, Tangi, and I'm Amber.
Now I'll ruin you.
God.
No, I spent a lot of time on that.
We need to.
Yeah, and the only reason I know you didn't make this is it's got way too much RPG stuff for your brain.
You don't know that for my brain.
This literally is a bunch of like almost Final Fantasy stuff. It's like
No, I made that.
yes, no, you did not.
Yes,
I
no.
Because Zeromus is a Final Fantasy boss.
Wow.
Ultimate White Magic,
She made
Blood
that.
Sword, Excalibur,
I
White
played
Magic,
the game,
Potion
beat
Lord,
it, 'cause it's not that
Wow,
hard,
White
and
Magic,
then-
Mia?
and then I
Wow.
just made a
Archer,
schedule.
Black
Typical.
like
I'd like to know about that.
Weren't you talking about the weather earlier? I don't think we ever followed
Yeah,
that
let's talk
up.
about some other kind of lore. How about creepypastas? We were talking about these
Creepypastas.
earlier.
Let's
Yeah.
not talk about the Moran one that you were talking about.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
we were deciding we needed a Dankrite creepypasta because I mean I think you've made it as a series when like little 8-year-olds start making creepypastas about your show.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I think it's when like never mind.
I think it's when like yeah.
Never mind.
Me too.
Oh, I know
Me
exactly
too,
what you're
Mia.
gonna say. That's during that phase in your life where creepy things suddenly are within your radar, and so you start writing about them quite frequently.
Fantasizing about.
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, I'm definitely on Facebook right now, which is,
Yeah.
how it goes.
Oh
and,
my
God.
and something popped up on my feed, and It's Sith Jar Jar.
Weird.
Throwback to episode 2 of this podcast.
Oh, Star Wars! I want to. Okay, real quick.
Oh,
let's
that's
take a side
terrifying.
Let's take a detour.
No.
Shit!
That's scary.
That is
scary.
That is terrifying.
And
That's
we have
amazingly
derailed,
well
ladies
done.
and
but
gentlemen.
holy crap.
We've been derailed. Do you guys want to talk about Star Wars for a minute, though?
Out of the microphone.
I'm fine with talking about Star Wars, Nolan.
See, Star Wars is
on
an
the
interesting
mic.
thing.
Like it's touching the mic.
The wavelength
Sorry,
is
what?
so.
Oh my god.
I don't even like talking
Wow.
about Star Wars nearly as much as I do just bringing up the idea of talking about Star Wars because
Yeah.
it just gets a reaction out of Mia every time because she knows we'll talk about it forever.
Ever! They'll talk about it forever. But
That's
on
why
the
there was a
topic of
whole
Star
episode.
Wars.
Talk about Creepypastas.
On the top, okay.
Okay,
We're still
go
on the
ahead.
topic of
Go
Star
ahead.
Wars because I never talk about Star Wars. You quit huffing and puffing over there. I started reading a Zam Wessler comic, which was why I was asking who the other Yoda was.
Yaddle.
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 And I ended up not finishing the comic because I ended up on a Star Wars deep dive until
Valid.
like 1 o'clock in the morning. That is all.
As you should.
Yeah, Yaddle doesn't do shit.
She doesn't do shit. I'm pretty sure in the lore she
just
like
sat there.
I'm pretty sure she has like 2 stories in like the comics and then she like dies.
Who is
I'm
she?
pretty
She,
sure
like,
she's a girl Yoda.
She's
She's
the
a
same
girl
race
Yoda?
of.
She's a girl Yoda.
Yeah, they don't know
Whatever
what
they
she
are.
is. But like everyone got their really dramatic like close up and like what their goal was and like everybody in the room except for her and I was like, oh,
Yeah,
She's
Yaddle.
That's not important, I guess.
Girl Yoda. Orange lightsaber, I think, which is cool. But girl Yoda.
I don't know if she had orange.
I think in
she
one
might
of the
have had
comics
yellow.
she did. She
So
may have had
I thought
yellow.
Plo Koon was the only one that had orange, but
Well, and then they gave him like blue in the actual like shows and stuff, so it just like changes. Did you guys know that lightsaber colors mean jack shit?
it depends on your mood actually. They're like
Yeah.
mood rings.
They're like mood rings.
well, apart from red is bad, everything else is good.
Everything else is whatever. Yeah.
Red just means you're a little upset. That's all.
I think that's the worst part about being a Sith is that you only get one
Need
lightsaber
a nap
color.
if you
Like if you want any other color, it doesn't matter. It's just gonna turn red because you're a
I
Sith.
don't think that's fair.
That's how that
Wait,
works.
I think they should be able to spook people.
Do you think that there are Sith Lords out there rolling around with pink lightsabers?
Yes.
No.
No.
Well,
Yes.
well,
I hope
okay.
so.
There was Mara Jade, who was I don't remember.
Luke's kid?
She was the Emperor's apprentice. Luke ended up marrying her in
Oh,
like
it's
the
Luke's
books.
wife, that's right.
Yeah,
In the
and she has like a
universe.
red and a pink lightsaber, from what I remember at least.
Well,
so
I know Darth Revan had his
Purple.
red and purple.
the red and purple is a cool combo. Well, I guess you can then. Never
very
mind.
rare.
Here's the problem with Star Wars lore, especially
No
with like the
creepypastas, no
lightsabers,
creepypastas.
because sometimes we're not talking about creepypastas, we're talking about Star Wars. Because
God
sometimes,
damn it, Mia, you did this to yourself.
because like
It's just
originally
Star
it was like
Wars Part
Sith
2.
Lords had red lightsabers because, and then they
Yeah.
were like Sith Lords have red lightsabers because the dark side makes the kyber crystal bleed, which is why it turns red. So if you're a Sith Lord and you use dark side magic, it automatically turns it red or whatever, right?
Okay.
But apparently that's not even true all the time because some people
Okay.
just have purple lightsabers.
Well, I mean, the only reason we have a purple
Huh.
lightsaber is because Sam Jackson asked for it.
Yeah, exactly. Can I have purple? And look, there's actual footage of that exact moment. It's really funny.
Oh yeah, and I just like
I
the
need to
story
see
because it's
that,
like
yeah.
it's like, can I have a purple lightsaber? Well, there's blue and there's green. And then George Lucas is like, nah, screw it. We'll give him a purple one.
It's so funny, the
Purple.
footage, because
And then
you
it
know
gets
he doesn't.
integrated into lore.
You just know he doesn't want to fight with Sam Jackson. He's like, we can do purple. We can try to make it purple. Yeah. And just like that's like the whole
just
thing.
like that.
Yeah, that's George
him.
Lucas.
Yeah.
I want a purple lightsaber. It's like a Kermit the Frog.
That's what George sounds like.
Conspiracy theories. Or what was it? Creepypastas. Moving
Yeah.
on.
George is an elaborate Muppet. Anyways.
Yes, no, he is actually Kermit the Frog.
I don't remember why we were going to talk about creepypastas. We were just talking about them earlier, and it got me thinking about all the things that like scared me as a kid, because like they used to freak me out pretty good. I remember
yeah.
the one that like
yeah.
scared me a lot was Squidward's suicide.
Me too. Me too.
I never knew the two that got, well, one actually got me, the other one was just like the video image of it was what got me. Was Jeff the Killer?
Yeah.
Yeah, that picture's scary.
Like the story itself wasn't like didn't really get me, but it was just like I just like watched the video and I just stared at the picture and it was like why am I doing this? And then the other one that got me was the Tails doll because my friend had a computer, like just a standard one, that had a red light on it. And it would go on and off every once in a while. So I was like at his house when we were reading this thing. And then we were going to sleep. And then at one point I rolled over and then I just saw this red light like turn on. And I was like, what the f-? And there's your first censor.
That's funny. That's really funny. I think it's like the fourth.
I was like, he said like...
That reminded me of something. It's not related to Creepypasta by any means, but
Is it Star Wars?
no. No, but in like
talk about that?
6th or 7th grade, my best friend Brianna and I, we were at her house at one point, and she was just showing me the weirdest videos ever, such as like Salad Fingers and like Old Greg, and specifically also the Turn Down for What video.
Oh God!
If you haven't watched it, go watch it.
Is it even on YouTube anymore?
Maybe it might be. Someone may have.
Do you guys remember like chat roulette and like
I never
all
went
that
on
jazz? Really?
No.
Never
Oh
went on.
my goodness.
No.
Never,
I know the people did.
Mia knows.
I...
Mia Benu.
Chat roulette.
Or, well, okay, there's chat roulette, and then there's like, what's the other one? The like orange one. Omegle?
Okay, I
Omegle.
did Omegle, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was
That's
awful.
a great
Children
way to see
should not
junk online.
Yeah. Yeah, no
Figuratively
kidding.
and literally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, no. I
That's
watched. There's a
extremely
YouTuber that I
awesome.
watch that ends up like playing guitar on an Omegle.
That's cool.
Sometimes
And sometimes he keeps in things where like he'll pop up and just the
Sometimes
entire
it
thing
sticks.
is
Yeah.
just blurred and censored, and then just like he's like, okay, next person. Like at this point, he's just so unfazed by how much
that happened.
that's a dick.
Okay.
What?
I'm curious now. Can you censor it, or can you like spell it out, or is it that bad?
The whole thing is just redacted.
Is it all just redacted?
I think it would all just be redacted.
Okay, we'll say it and I'll redact it. It'll be funny.
Okay.
It's not funny at all. No, like while I was still a kid and like on Omegle, there was like this whole thing where this guy showed his, or like got on Omegle, left it live, and then killed himself.
Oh my God.
And the footage was like all over Omegle for a while, and like I saw it as a kid. And no kid should have to see that, but like
Oh my God.
Yikes.
Boy.
Yeah, no.
that was a
that's
thing for like a while.
That's a crazy one.
Just the audio.
absolutely bonkers.
So
What a good story, Mia.
yeah, Omegle, what a fun time to run into Markiplier on accident or something. How much money would you guys pay to run into Markiplier on Omegle?
$0.
You know,
so
Shay
much
money.
12
Fire
million?
in person, right?
Yeah, you ran into him in person.
No.
No,
Shay.
Shay, not me. Dear God.
No, it was while she was working at Carl's Jr. He had to charge his Tesla. And he just came in and she was like, hey, don't you make videos? And he was like, I mean, occasionally. And then yeah. Just...
You're Markiplier!
Everyone in Carl's Jr. turns their head,
Shay.
looks, and then
I'm
goes back to
Markiplier,
because they have
yeah.
no idea who he is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
Hello, Shay, I'm Markiplier, and that's what he said.
Yeah.
Can I get a number for, or whatever?
He asked
That's the
her
best
for an autograph,
Markiplier
actually.
impression. He asked Shay for an autograph. Are you Shay from Carl's Jr.? That's crazy.
I like how he sounds like the newscaster from SpongeBob.
Yeah.
He actually is the newscaster from SpongeBob.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. Not gonna lie, the hair.
I'm just imagining. I always think of that image of Peter Griffin like opening the door and there's just someone behind it, and I'm imagining Markiplier there with like his pink hair.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, Markiplier or whatever. That was a shitty Peter Griffin.
I know, I'm like, it hasn't been pink in years.
So
What color is it
Yeah.
now?
God.
It's just his natural
Just
color,
brown?
yeah. It's just
Okay.
like dark brown.
Okay. I don't keep up with Markiplier.
I
I
do.
don't
that's
keep up
fair.
with him really. I haven't watched him in a long time.
I think the
Don't
last
look at
time
me.
I watched
Do
a
not look at me.
Markiplier video was when Five Nights at Freddy's was still
I
relevant.
think that's about right. Yeah.
It was.
That was
I think it might have been the second one that came out. Was the last time I watched it.
Which brings it back to creepypastas.
Creepypastas.
Yay!
My favorite creepypasta, I wanted to say this earlier and then we got derailed.
Yeah.
Was
Crazy.
Candle Cove.
Oh, Candle Cove is
Candle
good.
Cove, and then there was this other one, I forgot what it's called. I think it was Russian Sleep Experiment or something like that.
That one was a
But
interesting
those two were the ones that I thought about all the time, and I still occasionally I'm like, wow, that's messed up.
I discovered Candle Cove at the point where that stuff didn't really creep me out too much anymore. I was more immune to it, I'd say.
Actually one of the first ones, other than Slender Man, because I think that was everybody's first.
Yeah, I think so. That made it mainstream. Do you remember your first? Yeah.
Wait, what was Candle Cove?
Oh yeah, the other ones that.
Oh, explain Candle Cove.
Okay,
real quick.
Candle
Explain
Cove
this.
is really cool actually. It's the one where it's a bunch of different people are telling stories about when they were a kid. They used to watch this show called Candle Cove, and the characters were made out of candle wax or putty, and it was very weird art style, and it kind of gets into it. I haven't listened to the thing in literally 12 years maybe, but they later go and talk to their parents about it, and their parents are like, oh, you used to just watch the TV static for hours on end.
Yeah.
But it's multiple kids occurrences of watching this show called Candle Cove. It's really cool.
It's really an
I want
interesting
to actually
one.
listen to it again because I apparently don't remember what happened.
It's a creepy one. It gets into that I think it's because it gets into that lost media kind of a realm where it's it reminds you of people on Reddit where they'd be like, I remember this show as a kid does not exist, because it's presented in that way. It's presented as a thread of a dude who's does anyone else remember this show that was on local broadcast stations, and I used to watch it and it had this character and this character, and then some of the details are a little okay, the main villain was called the Skin Taker, and it's no, that's not gonna be on any kid's show or whatever. That should be a red flag immediately.
Flapjack.
But yeah, just the way it's presented is so good, because it ends with him saying I asked my mom, she said I used to just watch TV static, and it ends there, and it's
oh wow,
oh, that's cool. It reminds me of usually when it comes to lost media and creepypastas, it's a creepypasta about lost media, right? Mm-hmm. But there's actually a creepypasta that is considered lost media that they know existed but nobody can find, right?
Wow.
It was called Camera Heads. Somebody brought it up on a thread and they said...
I can picture that currently, actually.
Yeah, somebody brought it up on a thread and they said there was this creepypasta I read in the early to mid 2000s called Camera Heads. And it was about a guy who finds this backpack with a videotape in it that says, I killed a camera head. And as it goes along, you find out that there's these creatures that are biomechanical that have cameras for heads that record you and stuff. And that I guess the last guy killed one and it killed him back, or they killed him or something. Anyways, that's the basic synopsis from what the dude remembers. And people have searched for it across internet archives, and they found listings for it on a couple different websites. It was real, but nobody has the actual story.
That's creepy.
Wow.
So it kind of adds to it though. It makes it this infamous thing. It's really weird.
It
or
sounds
it's just
really
all
familiar.
one elaborate thing to where it's just
That's true.
That's another thing.
That's
to make
the
it
actual creepypasta.
is that it's this creepypasta that people seem to remember, and that you can find there's evidence of it existing, but no one can actually find it, is in itself just false.
Yeah. It would be.
It sounds
it's
familiar
part of
though.
the
It kind of
story.
reminds me of Siren Head in a way.
Yeah. Oh, Siren Head
I
is
think
cool.
I'm thinking more of the TV head things that people do. Where
Yeah.
they stick monitors on their heads. I'm imagining exactly that with an old camcorder.
I drew one.
Did you?
Follow me on Instagram.
Selfless.
Nolan
or
At
shameless.
Nolan McCool, anyways.
Another creepypasta I got that didn't super get me, but I just remember reading and was that's creepy, was Pokemon Lost Silver.
I don't remember that one. I remember
It's an
Pokemon
actual
Black.
it's the guy finds a bootleg Pokemon Silver game cartridge, and it's really messed up of Pokemon, the Pokemon are dead, and the actual trainers themselves are trapped in this in the tower or whatnot, and they're you're stuck in a loop. Same thing with Hypno's Lullaby.
Oh yeah,
That's
Hypno's
also really
Lullaby was a
creepy.
creepy
Yeah.
one. Man, Pokemon in general is like creepy. There's something about Gen 1 where it
yeah.
feels a lot more gritty, I guess.
Yeah.
I think that the game designer has said that like he imagined it being a lot more dark than like it ended up becoming.
Well, I mean, they're
Right,
pocket
really?
monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say you have to think like at first of all it came from Japan, Pocket
Yeah.
Monsters, right? But then also like the actual idea of the Pokemon are terrifying.
They're
Yeah.
still
Like
and they're,
it's
like-
cute now because of like what we've made it, but like
Well, I mean,
if
they're intended to be like
executed a different way.
they're
probably.
intended to be like animals, so they like very blatantly like kill each other to eat each other and things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And like some of them, they say like kill kids and things like that. Which
Yeah.
is,
I
like,
wouldn't be
Like,
surprised.
like,
goodness.
Drifloon.
abducts kids.
Yeah.
Like, that's his Pokedex entry. I mean, Shedinja from Gen 3 is if you look at its back, it takes your soul.
and the whole time that it's out, you're looking at its back. It's like,
I think
Thump is a kid's lost soul.
yeah.
Hell, there's
Yeah.
gods.
the
Like,
are, yeah.
depiction of Pokemon in the Detective Pikachu, like when they are on that weird gas stuff. I think that's a pretty good depiction of what they would be like in the wild.
Because they're just animals.
They're just animals.
It's like running into a Wolverine or a
Like-
bear, you know? They're gonna
Yeah,
kill you,
You're
except
gonna
these
see a
ones.
mountain lion. You're
Yeah,
not
these
gonna
have
like
special
oh,
powers.
Except these
So
ones have
bold.
like elemental abilities. Yeah.
Yeah.
So not only are they gonna kill you, they're going to paralyze you with electricity first, and then they'll kill you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Pokemon is fun.
Can
I
you
like it.
imagine going swimming and there's a Gyarados?
Yeah.
What are you gonna
That
do?
would be so
I would
terrifying.
cry. I
Anything-
think I would spontaneously combust.
Anything in the water.
Can you-
scares
What is it,
me
a
like
whale
that.
lord?
I was gonna say, yeah, can you imagine if you're just swimming and then a whale lord just pops up by? That'd be like
No.
swimming in the
That would
ocean
be
and then a
terrifying.
blue whale just like
I get
popping
afraid
up
of
beside
minnows,
you,
let alone of anything bigger
saying
than that.
hi and
Oh.
then leaving. It's like, no thank you.
Guys, ever seen the
Or
video of the dude in a kayak and a blue whale like surfaces and almost swallows
Yes.
him? That
No.
scares me so
I
much.
can't watch those.
It's so close to like grabbing him. Like it wasn't trying to get him. It's just like getting plankton or whatever. But it comes up like
It's
right
so,
next to him. It's like
It's so
The
big
ocean
that it
is
just
the only
can't.
thing that
Yeah.
genuinely scares me anymore because you don't know what's underneath there.
yeah.
You
It's
don't
so
know.
big.
Like,
It's,
Like we know space is basically empty.
Or
There's a lot of
fish.
things in the ocean that we
Did you
can't
say
see because you can't
Or
discover
fish.
because
Or
too much
fish,
water,
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
too much pressure.
We are not
They're
designed to
huge.
be in the
Or
ocean.
like the babies are like still 20 feet long.
What are you talking about?
Oarfish.
Oarfish? Oh, oarfish are
Or like
cool.
the children are like 20 feet long still.
I don't want to be in the water with one, but they're cool. They're very
They're
cool.
huge.
Finding Nemo deceived me on how big anglerfish were.
Those
Because
things are
anglerfish
huge.
are huge.
They
Really?
can be
Yeah.
Like
Some of them are,
when
like,
they get big.
that
Yeah,
big, but like some of them are like.
they get big.
Oh my
And
God.
I'm elaborately gesturing like it
Yeah.
was that big, like 6 feet across. You know.
We'll,
They can
put
be
up a little
bigger
measuring.
than-
The fish
person.
gets bigger every
Oh my
time
God.
he tells that story. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, that's another thing is like all they're so big. The farther down you go, the bigger they get, and that's should be
And,
illegal.
well, just the creepier they get in general because they don't.
More eyes.
They're all morphed and weird. And
Well, and they have to and they adapt
Tentacles.
to no light,
they adapt to no light. They adapt to the water
Less eyes, I
pressure,
should say,
the
rather.
cold,
the cold.
Bumps.
Mm.
Ugh.
everything else that's around
become-
them to survive whatever else is out there.
It's like the big
They
fin
literally
squid.
discover. I was just about to say they literally discover another squid every year. I swear. They're like, oh look, we found an even bigger squid, and it's like, can you stop?
Stop
doing that?
finding them.
Like stop.
As long as we don't find a megalodon or a kraken that's alive, we're fine.
I'm not
that's a
going
lot.
to
Would
the
not
ocean
doubt
again
it.
if that's the case.
I would not doubt it.
If they found anything bigger than a blue whale and they even mentioned that it was like a predator, I would not be in the ocean anymore.
No.
Like if they're like, it's got like teeth and stuff. It's like, no.
Goodbye.
If they were like, hey guys,
No.
megalodon actually still exists, it's just underneath, it's just way down below, people would be like, just the
hurting.
beaches would be abandoned.
I would abandon them.
Mm-mm.
You get crazy people that are like, they're misunderstood.
fine.
We can swim with them.
I mean, I'm not the crazy kind of person who's like, oh, it's fine, we can swim with them. They're just animals. I'm more like, that's their home. Leave them alone. Let's we stay
thing-
on land.
It's like, well, the thing
Yeah.
with like great white sharks is like, well, it's greatly exaggerated the amount of what like humans that are killed. Like great white sharks usually don't care for people because the fact of the matter
Right.
is we probably don't taste good. We're like bony and like weird. Like
Yeah.
it's like going next to a bear and like patting it on the back and expecting it like not to like come after you.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly it.
it's an animal. You don't know. It doesn't have
they like compare getting eaten by sharks to like how many people will die by falling coconuts, and it's like okay, but like
it's still
sharks are in the ocean and coconuts are on trees above you, and people like to shake trees. It's bound to happen.
Yeah.
It's just not
And then and then you'd also have people who's like, oh yeah, Megalodon exists. People would be like, it's all a conspiracy.
Oh God.
Yeah, I like to think it's a conspiracy to ease my mind. For some reason, at night, if I'm looking at scary underwater stuff, I have to like hide my feet in case there's like a shark underneath my bed. Because do you remember me talking about those underwater sculptures that scared the crap out of me? Because I discovered those at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Maybe.
I'll have to show them to you, but like the underwater shark and the underwater dragon, those things are terrifying. If I were to ever be swimming in a lake, not an ocean, a lake, and find those things, I
am moving to the Sahara Desert where there is no water for...
I tried moving to the desert. It snowed the other day.
I can't. That's why you go to the Sahara Desert. It's the driest place on Earth.
Yeah, get you a nice camel.
And it's one of the driest places on Earth.
Well, you gotta worry about sandworms there, though, so...
Yeah, you gotta worry about the
sand
tremors.
Sharks.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tremors.
No, have you guys ever heard about the Gobi death worm? You ever heard about this?
That sounds fun to say, but
no.
It's a cryptid thing. They say that, so in the Gobi Desert, people say that they've seen these worms that are, like, massive, that, like, spit, like, acid, and that apparently can, like, discharge electricity. They're, like, like, big around, like 6 or 7 inches in diameter or whatever, and they say that they, like, go along and, like, kill camels and occasionally make people disappear.
Is that where the, like, idea of the sandworm that's in Beetlejuice comes from?
No, the sandworm in Beetlejuice comes from Dune.
Oh, okay. I still have not
I'm
seen
pretty sure the Gobi death worm... I'm pretty sure that the Dune death worm, or the Doom sandworm is what invented the Gobi death worm as well, because I'm pretty sure nobody saw it until that book came out.
Probably, yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
sounds like maybe we're
We'll have to take a trip to the Sahara Desert.
Gobi Desert.
Tremors terrified me as a kid too.
I've not watched Tremors actually.
I'd
like to.
It's the thing, like the movie Tremors.
Yeah, what's it about?
It's like subterranean like worms that can burrow through the earth.
Yeah.
And like they sense by vibration. So you could be walking around and these things can take down like cars into the ground.
Oh my God.
It finds you. It sounds so scary. I need to see the first one.
It is terrifying. And these things are not, and they're not small. They're fairly large, and it's like
you'd probably
it's not like some like just kind of like shark predator thing. Like these things are intelligent. Like there's some intelligence. Like it's still not human like, but it's still like these things can like, oh, you're in your car. Well, it knows it can break the windows to get in.
With its elbow, it like comes in.
Well, it's like a worm thing that's got like extra tentacles or whatnot.
It's scary. The idea that
if you've ever
like
alien mouth thing.
Yeah.
It's a lot like that slimy.
Ew.
Yeah.
That
Yummy.
thing. Yeah. It's
Alien's scary.
Do you have anything to add to the worm talk?
No.
Tangi's just back here taking a nap.
That's okay.
And I remember another creepypasta. Ben Drowned for Legend of Zelda.
That one still holds
I was
up
gonna say
pretty well.
the only creepypastas that I had ever seen that were like based off of shows were Ben Drowned, and then the other one that was off of Legend of Zelda, it was like I forgot what it had to do, but it had to do specifically with the Lost Forest and like the kids in the Kukuri Forest.
Ben Drowned is like the reason that I found out what Legend of Zelda was.
Nice.
It's kind of cool, but also kind of like
yeah.
That's not like, even though if you know it's a creepypasta, you're still like, huh.
Makes you think. Makes you want to go play the game, and then you're like kind of disappointed.
Yeah.
Although there are really
like
cool like glitches in the game that you can do that are like kind of related to Ben Drowned.
Well, the way that he did all of that was I don't remember if he used a ROM or if it was an actual N64, but essentially just corrupting it and waiting to get creepy results and audio editing.
I would imagine it was also ROM hacking and just manipulating it himself. Because that's what a lot of people do. Like the Lost Silver footage that you see, air quotes, is just a hacked ROM of coding it to make it play out that way. Same thing with the Hypno's Lullaby part.
And you could get very similar results just by tilting the cartridge on like an N64. Like not like a lot, but you just like kind of tap it a little bit and it'll make things in the game go like all weird because it doesn't read it properly.
Yeah, my favorite thing as a kid was learning all the different little glitches that you could do. Like if you hit the corner of the house in Kakariko Village, you can get into the bazaar that you don't see until he's an adult. It's cool.
Oh yeah, no, because of all the glitches and whatnot, like the speedrun for Legend of Zelda is like 14 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, Ocarina of Time has a crazy speedrun. It's ridiculous.
I can play that game in like at least 2 days.
Yeah.
I like the
only
speed
beaten it once.
The speed run for like non-glitchless is still like 2 hours or something like that, or like an hour and 40 minutes or something for their world record. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
No, I like to like play with the frogs and like stare at the shark for 5 hours and like
the shark.
That shark used to scare me as a kid too.
It does. It's like, why is it there? Why is it there? And it's
I was gonna say another. I don't know, like. The shark thing was like the eel from Super Mario 64 or Super Mario Sunshine or whatnot. Or I think it was 64. That also terrified me. It was like, that's just...
Every time they talk about it, I'm like, it's beyond me.
Which one? 64?
Mario, just any Mario.
Mario stuff that's like beyond what I have played. I'm like, what?
There's a lot to Mario. I'd say there's like a few essentials that you should play.
I want to show you guys a video.
Okay.
It's related to Mario.
The original Mario trilogy is great. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I mean, like Mario World, and then you could probably jump to like Mario 64, Sunshine, Galaxy 1 and 2, and then Odyssey. It's a short list.
Because like the unfortunate thing is like when you play one Mario game, you really played a bunch of them.
That's fair.
Because it's really the same. They add a few little gimmicks here and there and whatnot, but overall it's still you run through the level, you get power-ups, you don't die, you get to the end and beat the game.
Yeah.
Save the princess.
Exactly.
Huzzah.
I would also throw in maybe
Odyssey's
Paper Mario.
Yeah, it's very pretty. I
Odyssey's
get distracted a lot.
Pretty game.
Paper Mario is also pretty fun, but that's also an RPG, so it's a fairly long game.
Paper Mario?
Cool.
Paper Mario.
Wow.
The original Super Mario RPG is also a good one. I need to play that one again because it's been a long, long time. That one is fun.
I only remember the forest song.
Yeah, I think everybody only remembers the forest song just because it's like so catchy. There's your demo. Sued by Nintendo. Cease and desist. Shut down. Dank rights over.
Wow. Thank you.
Nintendo hates us.
I wouldn't put it past Nintendo at this point.
This isn't dank right. This is...
This is Clock Dead Creatures.
Oh, yeah.
Mia?
Bro, I just chop off my feet
again.
At this point. Get rid of them. I don't need them for anything.
As long as you don't take this other mic, we'll be fine.
That reminds me of this story that I read the other day, right? On Instagram. So, here's the text, right? So, Paco Gutierrez, age 9, always wanted a Nintendo console. However, due to being extremely poor living in Venezuela, it was just a distant dream. Using his creativity and with the help from his uncle, he made a cardboard Super Mario game, posted it on YouTube, and the video went viral. Thanks to the video, Nintendo CEO Doug Bowser personally traveled to Venezuela to give Paco a cease and desist order and sue his family for $200 million.
That's real.
No, it's not real.
Man, that had to be very, very recent because Doug Bowser only became the CEO like 2 years ago.
I just love that copy
the
pasta.
The most messed up thing that Nintendo actually recently did was when they like tweeted, "Hey, what's your favorite Nintendo song to listen to?" And everyone was like, "Oh, it's this one or this one and this one." You know, they were like sending like remix or like lo-fi, and Nintendo went through and flagged every single one of them, like got rid of them,
There's
banned
no-
them, copyrighted them. Like it was.
What?
There's no reason for that. Like
No, there's
Nintendo deserves all the hate that they get right
Yeah.
now because they've been extremely scummy in the last like year or
Decade.
two. So what's happened recently, right? They released Super Mario 3D All-Stars, okay? Which was like a collection of Mario 64, Sunshine, and the first Mario Galaxy, which everybody wanted a re-release of for a long time. Because for the longest time now, the only way that you could play Mario Sunshine, at least, was on the GameCube, and copies of that go for like $70 to $80 now.
Yeah.
Like, good luck getting it. So they released that. Charged $60 for it, even though it's just a re-release of 3 already existing games. Did like nothing to it. If anything, they made the ports worse. Like they didn't let you to do button mapping. They didn't even have like GameCube controller support, which is weird because the Switch supports GameCube controllers and Mario Sunshine is on GameCube. And they like, it's just bizarre. But anyways, charge $60 for it. And on top of that, they pull some like ShamWow tactics where they're like, but order now because it's going away March 25th. And they said like after March, you can't buy it anymore. And the only reason they did that is so that people are more hyped for it and will buy it now because they know it's going away. So for a while there at least, it was big with scalpers. Scalpers would buy up copies and sell it for like $100 and people would pay for it. Just because and now it's not just a re-release, now it's a limited time only re-release. It's exactly like on the Floam commercials late at night when they'd be like, order now because Floam's going away. And then like 10 years later you still see the Floam commercials. You know?
Who's even trying to copy Nintendo? Like, nobody cares about Nintendo as much as Nintendo thinks that they do. People just like their stuff.
Well, people that's the
exactly
thing is
what it is.
Nintendo is just very shady in general. It's strange because they'll have things like fan games, right? Nintendo hates when fans make fan things of them, whether it's art or music or games or anything. So an example of this and how Nintendo is kind of scummy, right? I'll give you a couple companies, right? I'll give you a couple examples. So Sega, there were a couple fan games by a dude named Christian Whitehead, right? And Sega hired him to make Sonic Mania, which was an official Sega game. They used him. They used a guy who remixed Sonic music on YouTube, T-Lopes, to make all the music for this game. And they got like a couple artists who were just big in the community, and they made an official game with them. Like they collaborated with them.
Cool.
Resident Evil. A couple of fans were making a remake of Resident Evil 2, and Capcom told them, "Hey, can you stop? We're making a remake of Resident Evil 2, and we don't want competition." As compensation, they flew out the team to Japan, showed them the work that they were doing on the remake, and gave them all kinds of goodies and stuff. They got a personal tour of Capcom.
Nice.
Nintendo, some guy made a remake of Metroid 2, which was only on the Game Boy, right? So a little, like, awful-looking game on the Game Boy. Made a remake of that. Nintendo shut it down. Like immediately.
Well,
That's like it.
there's a bunch of fan games because I remember there's like Pokemon Uranium or something like that. Nintendo finally got around to like taking down.
It's just bizarre because like just support your fans and your fans will support you back.
There's the whole
Don't be evil.
There's the whole Melee debacle that happened a couple of weeks ago or whatnot. With like there was a mod that people made called Slippy that allowed people to play Melee online, so that they could still do tournaments.
Yeah.
And Nintendo didn't like that at all. And so they basically shut down a bunch of their tournaments.
Nintendo makes me angry. Can you imagine being like your fans like you so much that you just end up hating them?
It
like,
doesn't
how
make any
much sense
sense.
does that make? Like, if Dankrate blew up and it got to the point where people were like remaking our games or remaking our show, I'd be honored. I'd be like, hell yeah. I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna pay for that, even though it's like, our work.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Well, the interesting thing
Like
is
they
that
enjoy us.
if
We
you
should enjoy it too.
if you create a community that's based around like picking each other up, then it's just going to continue. People are going to throw love back into your series. I mean, look at how successful the Resident Evil 2 remake was.
Yeah.
And people weren't salty when they stopped like making the fan remake or whatever because they were doing an official one, and to compensate they told the people like, here's a tour of our place,
Yeah.
It's just bizarre the way that it works. I cannot remember his name. It's going to drive me crazy. Sonic Team hired a fan artist to do work on the actual, like, Sonic comic books, right? I cannot remember his name. It's driving me insane. He'd been doing art for a while. He actually made a pretty famous animation back in the day that's like a Sonic parody, but they hired him to do like art for the comics and to do art for Sonic Mania, and he ended up like doing a couple shorts for them, right? And then he went on to redesign Sonic for the Sonic movie to make him look more like Sonic.
Oh, wow.
And he started out as just like a dude on Newgrounds who was like animating Sonic parodies or whatever.
Wow.
So dope.
It's cool. It's cool, and it's the way that you should be treating your fans, you know? It's just bizarre, all of it, really. And I hope that Nintendo does horribly because of it, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to see them, like, take a hit from
Yeah.
it, because they should. They should. They're being awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
The thing is also, like, I don't know how, like, where companies will, like, draw the line at, like, okay, when is it just kind of, like, squashing, like, a fan thing that's really cool versus protecting their IP? That way people aren't, like, stealing their,
yeah.
Literally, they're
stuff.
only worried
Like-
about money.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I think that you should protect your IP. I mean, if
Yeah.
people are redistributing, like...
Yeah.
If people are taking and pirating Mario Odyssey or Breath of the Wild, of course you should take them down, because that's just piracy. But the thing is, when you have something like Mario Sunshine or Mario 64 that's not readily available, because at this point, like, all the old Wii services have been shut down, right? If you have a game that's, like, 20 years out of print, and you have no signs of reprinting them or anything, then I think that emulation should be fine.
Yeah,
Nobody else is preserving them. Do we have a ghost? Is there a ghost out there?
Yeah.
It's
Wanna go look?
mention me.
I genuinely thought, like, Andrew was here.
I'm gonna go look.
No, I earlier thought
Yes.
Roxy was out there running around, and then I realized that she was in the cage, so...
Nolan's the only one that's, like,
That's
doesn't care
Nolan
about
doesn't
ghosts.
believe in ghosts!
Yeah.
Because he's...
And Nolan never came back again.
The lights in here, everybody go to that wall.
I don't know if you guys can hear it, but he's just like...
Like, I
Ghost,
genuinely, like, heard the
hello.
doors shut, like, Andrew was coming in, I saw, like, someone walk in, and I was like, oh, okay, Andrew's here. And then
We should
nothing.
get into the habit of locking the door while we do podcasts.
We can't.
I don't think we can, yeah.
You guys literally did it all the time. I'm the one who
No,
pointed out
actually,
it
I
was
did.
a fire hazard.
There's only one day that I did it. It was when
Nolan, I swear.
Nolan is now possessed.
One time Logan came
Nolan's
into the
possessed.
office
I'm
super
not
early
possessed.
and relocked the door just so that I would come in and be scared. And it worked. It was successful. And I was really sad.
I think it's when there's other people. But it's a fire hazard, technically.
Well, yeah.
Still a fire
Which is
hazard.
It's still a fire
but-
hazard.
They're still
either way.
in the building.
It's any
So it becomes a fire
persons
hazard.
in the building.
Right.
Whatever.
It's not a fire hazard if I'm in here.
I thought it was just if there's other people.
Anyways, Nintendo sucks. That
Yeah.
was it.
Yeah.
There's a ghost
And
in
there's
our
that whole
building.
thing that, like, they're gaslighting.
They're ghostlighting us.
Now that's funny.
they're gaslighting about the, like, controller thing that we were talking about the other day.
Oh, that's so funny. So there's like the problem with drift on like the Nintendo
Oh.
controllers, where like the controllers are malfunctioning, and Nintendo is adamant that it does not exist. And there's a big lawsuit going on right now, which I hope they lose because
Yeah.
they're just
Probably
like, it's not
will.
real. Doesn't exist. It's like, well, here's the goddamn controller.
Like, literally,
Yeah.
it's happening
Tell
to
me it's
people
not
around
real.
the world.
The thing is it's on every controller. It's not just Nintendo. My PlayStation 4 controller is doing it right now, and it is screwing me up in like
It's so bad.
one of my games where it just constantly is dragging me, and I'll like just start moving randomly. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes that also happens when you use your controller too much and you're not nice to it.
Oh yeah. Well,
Dustin.
it's true.
Because let me tell you, I've gone through a couple of controllers myself. Granted, one of them was mainly just because both of my sticks were drifting super bad, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I kind of bully this controller a lot.
But to say flat out that it does not
yeah, no.
exist
Oh, no.
is bizarre.
Yeah, especially when hundreds of people are experiencing the same issue.
Also,
Lots
when
of
you think
people.
about it, the fact that they're like, it doesn't exist, but if you send in your controllers, they repair them.
Damn.
They like fixed them.
Weird. Nothing was wrong with it except it works now. They send it back to you.
There's nothing wrong with it. These are not my controllers. There's nothing wrong with them.
That's fine.
There's nothing wrong with
They're
that.
like brand new
You
ones.
think that would
They're
work
just
if I
like-
sent in my Nintendo 64 controller?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't
Something
know.
tells
Like
me no.
you might get lucky.
Maybe.
But I have no
they go
idea.
down
My
to the
dad
basement.
broke the
Like,
noise.
honestly,
They're like,
we need this one guy that knows how to
trying
fix
to
it.
replace it.
Oh.
You can buy replacement modules. I think you just have to solder them on.
He's just not very good at it.
The
I
thing-
think
soldering?
he's angry again.
The
Yeah.
thing
Breaks
is,
it off.
the thing
Don't let him
is,
solder.
I think
Dad.
like, from what I've heard, Nintendo's customer service is actually like really good.
They are. They are is the thing.
Yeah,
Like,
because they're people. The corporation isn't.
Exactly.
It's just.
Like people are like, Nintendo's customer service is like really good.
they're not
and then-
bad. No, I called them to get my Wii fixed, and I sent it in, and they fixed it. Came back, and it was fine. I don't know.
Yeah, I had like an issue with when I played Animal Crossing on my phone, like with money or something, and they contacted me within like an hour. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And then we fixed it.
Crazy.
It took
Nintendo.
a couple tries, but they got it.
But
Crazy Nintendo.
I'll still fight them behind Denny's at like 3 a.m.
maybe it's
Oh, for
because
sure.
they're like a 150-year-old company.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Nintendo's been around since like
I was like, is that actually
1865.
150?
Yeah.
Wow.
Or it's like 155 this year or
Go
something.
them.
Or 156 or something. Yeah, they used to do playing cards.
Been around for a while.
But it's
now.
like, oh yeah, Nintendo's been around since, the
Before
19th century.
Before cavemen.
the Civil War. Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nintendo probably started the Civil War. There
Honestly.
you go.
They probably did.
I think they
That's
started
what
in
it is.
1865 is when they opened. So
Maybe. No,
they ended the Civil War.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Unity.
Do not give them that much credit.
That's, yeah, no, you're right.
Creepypastas are stupid.
Are there any like creepypasta like Mario things or?
Oh,
like-
there's
Oh,
a-
yeah. There's a.
Oh, I
There's probably a few dealing with like Yoshi that I don't know of because there's just so much potential for that.
There's a really good one that the story itself is like whatever,
Yeah.
but it has an image attached to it that like still like kind of makes me shiver when I see it.
Really?
It's just called Mario. Like it's just called Mario.
Mario.
Like full stop. It's just
Full
a
stop.
creepypasta, but there's this image that's like attached to it where like I don't even remember the story. The story's about like a dude that gets a Mario ROM, but it's weird and haunted and cursed. And then like there's an image file, and he opens the image, and it's this image, and it's this creepy ass image. It still scares me, but like the actual story's stupid or whatever.
It's just very unsettling.
It's an unsettling image
Have
though.
you ever played,
It's like a face.
what is it, Sonic.exe?
That game's so stupid.
It's
That
so
creepypasta
stupid,
is the
but
worst
it's
thing
so
ever.
funny.
Yeah,
At the
it's
same
hilarious.
time.
I think Sonic.exe has got to. Yeah, it's that. I think Sonic.exe has got to be one of the worst. I think it's got to be one of the worst creepypastas that exist.
No, it is.
I'm
but
trying
it's
to remember
so
which one was
funny.
Sonic.exe.
Like,
It's
I
so
remember
dumb.
watching like
It's-
Let's Plays like
it's
when
like
it was first a thing.
So I remember
Not first a
Markiplier
thing, but yeah.
screaming.
Yeah, literally Markiplier screaming.
I just remember the Halo style with Sonic
Honestly,
Racing and
but,
then
like, still.
Yeah.
Super Sonic Racing and Can You Feel the Sunshine and
Can you feel the sunshine?
I remember I used to be terrified of those songs. I was like, no.
Yeah, Sonic R has good music. Fight me. That's good.
Well,
I won't fight you about most things, but I will fight people about that. It's got
fight
catchy.
you.
Oh, yeah.
what
Checking
is it?
this
Sonic
mic.
what?
Sonic R.
Shut up.
Sonic R.
Okay.
It's a racing game.
I'll listen to the music.
The music's actually really nice. Like, it is really good, but like, I
Are
just
you
remember
good
like
over there, bud?
I hated
He's
it.
literally choking himself with his own hair. Okay,
I'm
Rapunzel.
possessed. Sorry, it was a ghost out there.
It was the ghost. I diagnose you with ghosts.
Ghostbusters.
I don't mean to scare you or anything, but I'm pretty sure you have a skeleton in you.
There's something strange
Spooky.
in your neighborhood.
Who you gonna call?
Ghostbusters!
Still looking for the ghost.
Nolan still hasn't found anything, guys.
Just,
I don't think he ever will.
update.
Just gonna hear a scream.
They already know the whole theory about like you in an alternate dimension.
Oh, was
Oh,
that
yeah.
on one of your podcasts?
Yeah.
That was
That
like
was
the
Andrew?
first one.
That was the one where we talked. It was just me, Amber, and Nolan actually. But like we talked
yeah.
specifically about
You.
like alternate universes and like you and how
I am the trickster god.
Strong enough energy to bleed through parallel universes.
It's like, I am Loki, everybody.
Speaking of, like... Stop! Speaking of no!
Dustin?
Of things, gods, people being gods. Spencer, iCarly, Hephaestus. Thank you.
What?
Hephaestus?
If you want to say it like that. God.
Hephaestus? I think. I don't know. It's been a while since I looked at it. The lights are on, guys. It's a ghost.
Nolan literally walked over there and turned
the lights are off.
Yeah, we have other light switches.
I know. I'm just trying to scare the people. It's loud, Mia.
That's why I went in between them and went away from them.
Tangi's just chilling in the corner.
She's big chilling. She does not care. It is so okay.
If we talked about Star Wars, she'd probably talk about...
She's like, Star Wars?
She's only still in here because she's in the corner, not by the door.
Yeah, that's exactly why.
Star Wars? Did somebody say Star Wars?
What are they selling?
Chocolate.
I have, like...
Chocolate.
I kind of want to go and get more star
when
lightsabers.
they invented chocolate. I was just a little girl.
It didn't used to taste great.
I hated it.
What are you guys talking about?
How much we hate chocolate.
Chocolate.
Yes.
Chocolate's okay.
So, did you find any ghosts?
Yes.
What'd they say?
I didn't find any ghosts.
Well, then why'd you come back?
I don't know.
God knows.
Of course he didn't find any ghosts. He's back.
Don't come back until you find a ghost.
Yeah, take the recorder.
The ghost would have taken him.
Why didn't you take that with you while you were looking for ghosts? You should have.
Because I was going to the bathroom.
Oh.
That's a ghost you don't want to hear.
For ghosts.
Record yourself.
Alright, you guys keep going. I'm going to be adding commentary over top of this.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Oh, boy.
Alright. I'm currently in the haunted kitchen where there's a ghost in the dark. This corner's kind of creepy. I'm going into the haunted refrigerator as we speak and grabbing the haunted heavy whipping cream.
You know, I know that me and Amber have talked about our ghostly experiences. Have you had any ghostly experiences, Dustin?
Only one. I was walking, like, down my hallway once, and I, like, just looked into, like, where my bathroom was, because it was one of those weird things where I just look in there even though I know nothing's in there.
Yeah.
And I walked by it, and I swear I thought I saw just, like, a person standing there. I, like, walked by, was like, wait, and then took a step back, and then it was just gone, and I was like...
Ooh, that's spooky.
I'm gonna pour it into... Ooh, that's actually a spooky mug. It's a Pennywise, the talking clown mug.
I'm not a huge believer in ghosts.
That's still, like, unsettling, though. I feel it, yeah.
I think that the most common form of people experiencing ghosts, I say in quotations, is the things you see out of your peripheral vision. Mm-hmm. Is like, it's just like, it'll get you.
Yeah, I've had that happen. Actually, I caught something out of my peripheral vision, and I thought I saw movement, and I was like, no. Oh. And it turns out I did see movement because it was a mouse.
Now putting the thing back and heading out to the main area where the spirit was reportedly seen. There's no ghosts. It is sprinkling outside, though. That's nice. Kind of atmospheric.
Hey, at least you weren't crazy.
Because I thought I saw movement. I was like, that's weird. I swear I saw something out of the corner of my... And then I could see from behind my dresser, like, a tail flick. And then it disappeared under my dresser. I'm like, oh, son of a bitch. And it was at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I woke my dad up being like, Dad, there's a mouse in my room. And my dad was not happy that I was up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
About a mouse.
Listen.
Well, no, he was just mad that I was up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I also saw something out of the corner of my eye, and it turned out to be like a really big freaking cockroach.
Ew.
In my room, and I'm like, oh no.
I ever find mice in my room, I usually ask my sister Tiffany to get them because she's like, for some reason, not afraid to pick up mice that could have rabies. I don't know. But if it's like a cockroach or something, or like a really big beetle, like I don't remember if you guys remember me sending that picture of that really big beetle, but I was like, hey Dad, you should get this out of my room because that's a whole man.
Alright, putting my cup on the haunted Keurig. Probably should stop throwing haunted in front of things. Probably is going to sound like I'm making fun of people who believe in ghosts. I'm not. I think that if you believe in ghosts, that's perfectly valid. I think maybe I'm just compensating for the fact that I'm so incredibly scared right now. I'm not actually. I don't believe in ghosts. I don't know what it is. I just don't. I just choose not to. And I think I'm going to continue to choose not to. Because it's easier to live in ignorance and to deny everything than to give in, you know. I wonder what they're talking about in there. Hopefully it's funny.
But,
Over the weekend, I experienced something.
Oh,
That was interesting. So you know how Nolan described his little experience about when he thought Brenda was home?
Yeah, and then he
went to
was
go
like,
look.
oh, I'm not afraid of ghosts, so
Yeah, and then he went to go look and see if she was out there, because she was like, oh, well, Brenda's gonna spook me. And she wasn't out there, and then she immediately texted him being like, oh, I'll be home later.
Well, she had texted him before, which is why he was like, okay, she's playing a prank on me.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
All that. So I was at his house over the weekend, and it was late at night, and I saw, I had the same exact experience that he had, just, from the perspective of the couch in the living room.
Oh, boy.
And I thought it was Stuart, their cat. Their cat is a dark cat, so I was like, okay, so it could have been Stuart. And I made Nolan stop where he was walking and, look into the kitchen. Doug was asleep on his little shelf, and Stuart was in the bedroom.
Oh.
So, that was a good time.
I love that. So, Nolan's house is haunted. I'll come and sage. It's fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to get my coffee right now. They think I'm not coming back, but I am. Is this still not done? Ah, there we go. Listen to that Keurig there. Woo! Yeah, baby!
Another one of those things where I kind of saw it out of the corner of my eye. It was less corner, more bottom, but I was going to the bathroom and from on the toilet seat a spider crawled from in between the seats.
Ah!
Oh, and to make it worse, because we looked even more and whatnot. It was a black widow.
No. I have such a fear.
I didn't use my bathroom for 2 weeks.
I have such a fear of something
'Cause we didn't
crawling
find it.
inside.
You couldn't find it?
No, it crawled up. I lifted up the seat and I saw that it was Black Widow and I was like, I'm out of here. And then my dad walked in there and it was gone.
Alright, coffee is done. I don't have a spoon to stir it with though. I'm using a butter knife. That's all we had that's clean at the moment. I think I should do the dishes. Alright, we're going back.
Goodbye, Tangi.
I'm leaving the podcast. I'll see you guys
Goodbye,
later.
Tangi. We
Tag
love
up.
you.
Tag up. Bye, Tangi.
Oh, Nolan's got
You
coffee.
made yourself a cup of coffee.
No, I was ghost hunting.
Okay.
Yeah.
How'd your ghost adventure go?
Well, I didn't find anything, but lack of evidence means that we haven't found it yet, right? So, yeah.
Hands.
We can get closer on this thing.
Wow. Look at you
Perfect.
being friendly.
I don't know if that... Hi, Amber.
Putting this back down. Did you guys find any ghosts in here?
Yeah, actually.
Cool. I heard you talking about bugs.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I swear.
Anyways, that's all.
I was telling them about how the other night I had the same experience that you had at your house. And I thought that I thought Stuart had ran into the kitchen, so I made you stop walking and look, and he was not in there.
Turns out Stuart was not in there, yeah. So maybe my house is haunted.
I think we need the sage, that's all.
I will
no,
fix
let's
your house,
see
it's fine.
Let's see what happens if we don't.
No, it's like
Let's
Nolan's
bring
house
the
is haunted.
recorder
What?
there.
I want to know. Okay.
Let's bring
Nolan's
the
house is
recorder
haunted.
there,
That'd be fun.
and we'll figure out. We'll ask it some questions.
That would actually be fun. We should do that.
I would we could host a podcast that's just talking to ghosts. How about that?
Yeah, let's do it in your living room.
Specifically at your house,
Right.
yeah.
No one's like,
He only lives 5 minutes.
no,
We could
Ouija
pull out a
boards.
Waluigi board.
When
you get
I
responses,
want
you
a
just
Waluigi
hear,
board, but I
"Wah."
also want the Lisa Frank Ouija board that they released because there's yeah.
I haven't
sounds
heard about
cool.
that one.
Yeah.
Who's Lisa Frank? I'm sorry.
You'd know if you saw
Yeah,
it.
she's a famous artist actually. She did a lot of like children's stationery and like backpacks and stuff. It's like that really exploded, glittery, colorful.
Oh,
hippie
yes,
kind
yes,
of-
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But like imagine that.
You got a
but as
Lisa
a Ouija
Frank
board.
Ouija board?
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
I want
one of those.
Yeah.
Also, I don't.
It's dope.
That's-
I want one. I don't know if it's actually like Lisa Frank brand, but like it's very much Lisa Frank inspired.
That art
So-
style is interesting because it's very much like the opposite of what I normally
You like,
draw.
yeah.
So it's kind of intriguing to me almost.
It's,
It's
like,
like
fun,
so saturated
glittery,
and like
extremely
bright.
saturated.
I'm like, whoa.
Like
I don't
such
know. It's
heavy
like a
lines and all
rainbow.
that.
Definitely hydrated like characters, so that's
What?
a big
I don't like
difference.
that. I don't like that at all. My characters are usually made
How
of like.
dare they?
Prompt
Nothing.
Nolan. Dehydrated Lisa Frank characters.
Oh,
That's our next board
Desaturated,
one.
dehydrated Lisa Frank.
I'm gonna do. They'll just have like the
Story.
dry lips and mouths and like the
yeah,
little
yeah.
shriveled like eyes.
Instead of like actual Lisa Frank, it's like that weird foot character you have out on the board.
but in the style of it, so
Yeah.
it's like the little like foot creature. Yep. Oh god.
Are we ready to end this?
Why did Tangi leave? I can only
She
imagine.
just
loud.
wasn't.
It got loud.
It got loud. She wasn't really into
She wasn't
it.
like talking
Gotcha.
too much either, so
Yeah.
she just.
She wanted to work.
Yeah.
She's doing things.
I think she left.
Tangi disappeared. Ooh, was she ever
ghosts.
here? Maybe she was the ghost.
ghost.
No.
Maybe
Stay
the
tuned.
ghosts were the friends we made along the way.
Maybe the real ghost was the one that was out there that I ran into that possessed me.
Perhaps.
I didn't see any ghosts, but a little orb did fly into my mouth. So,
Okay.
so
Good
I
to
don't
know.
know what
Good to
that
know.
means, guys.
It just means
I'm
it
not
could
gonna
be.
finish that. Anyways, I think that's it. I think that's a goodbye
Cool. Stay
Perfect.
tuned
It
for
was
the
an
episode where we do
awful
seance at my house, I
episode.
guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
A real seance.
Yep, it should be funny.
It'll be great. It'll be a good time.
Alright, guys.
I really hope you enjoy those ghost sounds there, Nolan.
I'm going
Bye-bye.
to do something with them. 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 Seance at my house, I guess.